Welcome back. Round 3.
Yeah, we got a nice little break there. Speaking of breaking,
This is a great one.
yeah, this is a good matchup.
So, Nahiri is quite the card against this Jund deck.
It's okay. Like, it's not amazing.
Um,
It's a good resilient threat. Like, it's not silver bullet style good, but
right, but, I mean, so outside of attacking it, the only real removal for it is Maelstrom Pulse?
yeah. I mean, you've also got like discard, which is very real.
Sure,
At
sure,
getting
sure.
Nahiri down, and Raging Ravine is particularly good at killing Nahiris.
Yeah. What? Oh, man, I just saw the blood moon in Kyle's hand. I was
God, what the hell is Kyle doing?
taken aback, aghast. This is nice. So, so Kyle was our modern player during the team tournament this weekend,
He was.
and he played a very straightforward traditional version of Jund. But we had long discussions about Blood Moon Jund. Just because of the absurdity of playing a card in your deck that would just wreck
You.
you. But apparently this is a thing that people have been doing. So
Yeah,
he takes the condemn. That's interesting,
well, he doesn't have any 2-drops, so
right?
who cares?
We're gonna see Island from Victor.
You can very easily play around a spell snare as well.
Sure.
Alright, so Kyle's definitely going to want to get this Liliana board before he drops a Blood Moon.
Concur. Wouldn't be surprised if this wasteland or this
Foothills?
Foothills retrieved something that produces a black.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine it's an overgrown too.
Well, he has forest in hand as well. So that causes an interesting line. Because if you're gonna play the Blood Moon, you'd prefer to go get basics.
Yeah, I mean, he has a forest already, so he doesn't need a forest, and getting a basic mountain does literal nothing, so I would be surprised if he had basic mountain in the deck.
Concur.
He draws a Goyf.
Alright, so Victor's had 2 draw steps to hit the remand here.
I think
like
he's
he
got
did it.
a negate.
Let's see which one it is. Oh.
Nice draw negate.
You'll notice that Victor got a non-basic there. I don't think he knows what's coming.
Well, he's got basic island, so that helps.
Mm-hmm. But basic planes would have been a nice one there.
Oh yeah.
Had he if he knew what was up. Because without, I mean, he probably only has 1 basic planes in his deck. And so if this Blood Moon hits, I can't imagine he's got to take Spell Snare here.
Yeah, because he drew a Goyf, so he can take the spell snare, play a Goyf, and then he has a clock.
He's going to play Blood Moon.
Oh, sure, yeah, I didn't see the extra land in hand.
Yeah, so now Goyf comes down almost unmitigated. Did you like that one?
No. I did not like the improper use of the word mitigated.
That's unmitigated. That's a great use of the word mitigated. Here we go. We're going deep. Going to the Google machine.
Going to the Google machine.
See if I can spell mitigated.
Here's Mom Pa. You just put a bunch of I's between the consonants and you're good.
Right.
So we've got a bolt.
Make less severe, serious, or painful. Lessen the gravity of. So he has no cards to lessen the gravity of a Tarmogoyf coming down.
He has a lot of cards that lessen the gravity of the Tarmogoyf coming down.
Does he?
I think Unimpeded would have been better.
It's interesting. Is this a Grim Lavamancer?
Grim Lavamancer is a solid one.
It's a little bit of a nombo with Goyf, but, you know, you do what you do.
So we've got a 5/6 Goyf.
Yeah, so Kyle's just going to close the game here. Yeah, that's a quick one. Look at Kyle just turning him sideways. So game 1 Blood Moons, I think, are the hardest thing to play. Like, so every deck that plays one, there's only one deck that I know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the blue-white or the red-white Sun and Moon deck.
Okay, I mean Scred, you know it's coming.
Okay, Scred too, sure. There's 2.
Also Blood Moon Jund, you know it's coming.
No, see, because it looks like a Jund deck. Also,
Yeah, but it's got Blood Moons in it, so you know that they're going to play it.
No, but you don't know they're Blood Moon Jund until you see the Blood Moon.
Oh.
Don't be like that. But it's almost like being an affinity or a burn deck where you have game 1 locked up when you're playing a version of this deck like that.
I don't know that that's true, but okay.
What do you mean? I'm saying that you have this surprise card that's a total haymaker and it's very hard to play around. So, like, if Victor had scouted the match before, there's no way he gets the Sacred Foundry there. He goes and gets basic planes. And
Correct.
And it turns on the rest of his hand. And so then Kyle has to just play fair.
Right.
But since Victor had no idea Blood Moon was coming, he gets the wrong land, and, like, Kyle resolving Blood Moon shuts everything down.
Agree. That is what happened.
So how is that not the same thing as, like, well, I'm not properly set up or prepared for this type of play?
Because you can,
It's the
so
same
you
thing
can
with a
set
burn
yourself
deck,
up.
or like an affinity deck.
So, like, Victor's hand was not a good hand against Blood Moon, which is fine. But he could have been. Like, you can draw hands that are just very well positioned against Blood Moon. So if that basic island that he drew was
I'm saying
actually
that having the card
basic
Blood Moon
planes
in your deck, when you're not one of these obvious Blood Moon decks, increases your game 1 percentage points by, like, a ton. By, like, 25 or 30%.
I disagree.
Okay. We disagree on that point, then.
We do. So, first off, by playing...
So when John Douglas disagrees with you, he thinks you're an idiot and that he is king of the world.
That's not true. I disagree with a lot of things that I understand.
All right.
Like, I understand where you're coming from, but in this case, Kyle playing Blood Moon in a Jund deck where typically you want every card to be able to pull its own weight.
Right.
When it could just be a completely dead card is a very real cost. Like, he's losing percentage points on that in the hopes of the, like, gotcha value of Blood Moon.
Right.
So
yeah,
I think
mean,
it's...
every card has different values in different matchups. Like, in his Scred matchup, it's obviously a dead card, but...
No, I'm not saying that, like, it's matchup dependent. I'm saying it's draw dependent. So, like, Kyle could have a hand that's just terrible for Blood Moon, with Blood Moon in it. And Victor could have a hand that's just like, you know, basic, here we go.
Alright. I see what you're saying. Still disagree with you.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
That's a wonderful thing about Magic the Gathering is that we can we can hold two completely different opinions, and I think they're both right.
Well, I disagree with you on that. All right, so Victor's gonna be able to set up a hand that's good against Blood Moon this time with multiple Serum Visions in his opener.
Nahiri on the scry too.
Yeah, if he can land this Nahiri don't give a damn about no Blood Moons.
See, if I'm Kyle, I want to take out my Blood Moons and just play like a very straightforward Jund deck now that he's like watered down.
I don't know how he's watered down.
Well, you obviously board in such a way that
I don't think you can board against Blood Moon. Like if you've got enchantment removal, okay, more power to you, but you typically don't even bring that against Blood Moon, you just fetch your basics. Which, you know, can hurt if you're playing stuff like Cryptic Command, and I don't know that Victor is, but typically it's not a huge deal.
Is Grim Lavamancer a huge deal?
Not in this matchup, but there are some matchups where Grim Lavamancer is very good.
I remember the Jund decks used to play it against the fish matchups when that was a more popular deck.
Yeah.
And it was just like the bee's knees in that one.
You had to get it down early, but yes.
Kyle's not going to play into the Spell Snare.
Alright. We definitely... Oh, man. Is he keeping the Leyline and putting the fetch on the bottom? That's a mistake.
Is that loose?
Yeah. Oh, no. He put the Leyline on the bottom. Good. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Put the Leyline on the bottom. It's way too late for that to matter. Keep the fetch.
Meaning
because
it's not turn 0.
Right. But then you get this fetch, which helps you set up your hand against Blood Moon.
Sure.
And if he can resolve this Nahiri, which, I mean, it's going to resolve if he tries to cast it, then he doesn't care about Blood Moon at all. He can fetch a basic Plains here.
Right. Alright, Kyle's going to still poke at him for 1 here. There's Plains and Liliana.
Liliana's good.
This is how we drew it up on the playbook. Couple lands go down, and we move on. See if Victor's going to go, yep, basic Plains.
So this is interesting. Victor can play Nahiri here. He's got a lot of different options. He can take out the Grim Lavamancer, but then he's susceptible to Bolt and Kolaghan's Command. He could plus the Nahiri, but that doesn't give you any board presence, and you're not going to be able to cast what you drew, so then you're susceptible to discard.
Right. See, if he casts a Nahiri, he's pretty much off of blue for the rest of the game, too.
Off of blue for the rest of the game?
Well, a Blood Moon puts him off of blue for the rest of the game, sorry.
Well, you can just -2 Nahiri and kill a Blood Moon.
Oh, does it take care of enchantments?
Yeah, and they don't even have to be tapped.
What?
And he drew a basic island off of the Nahiri anyway.
I think he has the 4th Serum Vision in his hand, too.
He does. I wonder if Kyle has the read. He just drew a surgical. Got him.
That would be a sick read.
I mean, there's no way that Kyle actually cares about a Serum Visions. That is one to care about, though.
Yep. We've also got this Liliana that's going to go just sky high.
Let's see if Victor can survive. Oh, I thought he was going to suspend.
No, I think you might put that island. Oh, the island hit the graveyard on the Liliana activation. That's interesting. I would have put that Seer Visions in the bin personally.
Yeah, he's in.
If he discards this Ancestral Visions, I
He needs an answer now. I don't disagree with it. Draws the negate, which is a turn late. You definitely want to get mana open so that you can activate this colonnade. So he needs to draw another colonnade or another land next turn so you can keep Lily off of alting.
right.
Which means he's going to have to discard this negate in all likelihood.
I think Kyle's going to just kill Nahiri next turn. So he attacks it for 5, and then he gets to sacrifice one of the artifacts to deal the final 2?
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
I mean, that's... More swamps. So now he can only get it for 3, but that's...
4 if he really wants it.
4 if he's, you know, committed.
Oh man, Victor passed without playing a land. He really values this negate.
Gosh, that's a nice duress. That is the comic book promo duress. So I'm confused as to why you would negate that duress. If you leave the mana up...
Yeah, I don't understand why you don't just play your land there.
Okay.
Now this Lily has just got free reign.
I think, man, so Kyle has a line, so here it goes to 7. Kyle puts it down, back down to 5, attacks her for 2 more.
Oh, that's actually a really good draw.
Sure. Alright.
Man, that is such a clutch draw there.
So Kyle's going to see if he can cast Collective Brutality.
He cannot, unless he just wants to kill one of his own guys. Also, Lily can plus, but she can't minus or alt. Yeah, target opponent, that player discards a card. That is...
Yeah.
So target opponent reveals their hand. The player discards a card. Can't do that. Target creature gets -2/-2. He can do that, but Victor doesn't have any creatures.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
And then target opponent for the last one as well.
So Victor can't pass the turn because this +1 ability on Liliana, each player can still affect him.
Oh yeah, this Lily can go up to Oblivion.
Right.
So if it's not something you want to cast right now, then let's draw something you do. And lands are definitely live draws.
Yeah. So the other thing is that like I think Kyle can what is this?
This is a supreme victory.
Yeah, he can't put that ability on the stack because. Okay, so Supreme Verdict down.
Alright, so Kyle needs to draw. I don't know if he's running Maelstrom Pulse in this version, but if he's got it, he needs it in the worst way.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, Maelstrom Pulse gets him a good one here. I guess he's keeping this Surgical around to blow out any what's it called? Snapcaster Mages that exist.
Sure.
There's another land. Kyle just does not care, though. Lands are like fine draws. I mean, I think the only land he would play is a Raging Ravine. Victor's Nahiri's at 7, so if he plays it one more time, then the following turn he'll be able to Emrakul Kyle out of the game, and that's pretty good.
That's basically where we're at.
What do we see?
So if it's a Maelstrom Pulse, which is not. I'm going to say if it's a Maelstrom Pulse, then... Yeah, so if it was a Maelstrom Pulse, Kyle could have Maelstrom Pulse the Leyline of Singularity and then ulted Lily.
Right.
Victor would have still been able to get an Emrakul and get in there.
Alright. So Kyle sees the Emrakul, the Aeon
but it doesn't actually kill him, so...
Doesn't kill him that turn. It was going to kill him the next turn.
Well, the Emrakul wasn't, but he was going to die the next turn.
Right. Very interesting.
Very interesting. It was
I've always wondered why. So, what card am I trying to think of? Golgari Charm is a card that comes in and out of these Jund sideboards.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would always want 2 in there. I feel like it's a very versatile card. It beats...
I don't think I've ever seen 2 in...
1. But
it's always just like a 1-of.
It just removes an enchantment. And we saw there how Leyline of Sanctity is just amazing.
Leyline of Sanctity is situationally good. In that situation, it was very good.
Yes.
But there's these gen draws where they just have, like, you know, Bobs and Goyfs, and it just sits there and does nothing.
Right. Yeah, very interesting. So Kyle's going to be on the play, so I'm wondering what his sideboard plan was.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his sideboard plan was. Because Victor is playing red, it wouldn't surprise me at all to take the Blood Moons out, because it doesn't do
as much
work, especially since he doesn't need to play around it as much since one of his colors is already red.
Right. As it would against like an Abzan deck.
Yeah, against an Abzan deck, you'll probably just leave it in. Maybe not.
Maybe so. Who knows?
Who knows? It depends on what you see. So if you see like Birds of Paradise, you don't want anything to do with Blood Moon at that point. You're just like, I'm out. But this is the cost of playing Blood Moon. Like, he might not have the standard beaters that a Jund deck typically has.
Right. Who knows?
I know for a standard, like a regular Jund deck, the sideboard here, you want to bring in some like Pingful Truce, Kitchen Finks, 4-drops. So usually you'll have like a Thrun or something like that.
Oh, sure.
You bring in is pretty solid. Maelstrom Pulse, you want to have answers to Nahiri. So I always ran 1 Maelstrom Pulse from main, 1 in the board, and the second one would always come in.
Right. Is that why the Golgari Charm? Because Maelstrom Pulse does double duty there?
Yeah.
Alright, so Kyle's going to be on the play this time. Looks like he has a Duress to lead off with.
That's strong.
And that's right where you want to be as a man. Oh, an Inquisition. Even better. Gosh. These hands with multiple Serum Visions are very good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the choice here is just Snapcaster, but I don't know what's in Kyle's hand.
Right.
We know there's a Duress. Taking the bolt, that tells me there is a Bob.
Sure.
These life totals are not correct.
Yeah, so the life totals are a bit inaccurate. We'll get that fixed up for you at home. Because
so
we care
Kyle's
about
at
our viewers
20, Victor's at 19, potentially 17. Gotta imagine it's 17.
Yeah,
here
look
we
at
go.
17 here. Alright, he's gonna move that card rapidly, and that's gonna indicate to us that
Nope.
nope. Alright.
He's worried about the Blood Moon. I think he's getting a basic island here.
Gets himself a nice basic bad boy there.
So I think this is probably the right call because he has another fetch. And he's got the Serum Visions, which will also help him fix a little bit.
Right. Alright. Looks at that card. Sees 2 lands. The fetch is going to go up, and the Ghost Quarter goes to the bottom.
The draw from Kyle is a surgical, which is very strong here.
Yes.
So you set up Victor to have this snap bolt turn,
Right.
which means he's going to take another turn off here.
Victor's got a Logic Knot in hand. And is a nice future shifted X spell. I would play the known land and pass.
I think this is the right call.
Oh, so he can get a basic planes to condemn if need be?
Correct. And he wants the Serum Visions anyway. Because he bought him the other land. And then you get to choose whether you want to fetch or not.
Sure.
Draws a path. Man, that was a really good draw.
See, but if he wants these cards, that path isn't gonna,
Yeah.
you gotta make the choice here. Okay, so he does not want either of these cards.
It might be that not that he doesn't want them, but he definitely doesn't want Kyle drawing cards.
Alright, so Kyle's gonna have 3 land on the start of his turn. If Victor would have waited, the Bob trigger would have gone on the stack, and then he would have gotten the land and a card.
Yeah.
Which is not where you want to be.
No, sir.
No siree.
So this is a situation where if Kyle has a Blood Moon hand, like, the Blood Moon's just completely dead.
Well, right, because Victor was able to fetch appropriately, because he's playing around a Blood Moon.
Yeah.
In game 1, he didn't know. The surprise factor was the important part.
Oh, so you were surprised. Okay.
He was. He was a duress.
Another duress. Sees the logic on. Victor's a champ at drawing these Serum Visions.
Yeah, 3 of them this game.
4 of them last game.
4 of them last game.
Luckily, Kyle is a champ at drawing Bob. And this is going to set up that snap bolt turn, and Victor's just going to get blown out here.
Yeah, it's going to be a blowout.
It's going to be a savage blowout.
And then he's got a full-blown life total of 20. He hasn't taken any damage yet, and...
Well, Victor's got a full-blown life total of 156, so...
Wow. Is he playing Green-White Devotion?
Jeez.
Do you remember that deck?
Yeah, so the previous block, I quit playing Magic altogether.
Yeah.
And also, stopped playing Standard as a result of that, obviously. Which was, in retrospect, a pretty solid decision.
Sure.
And then I started drafting again in cons, and I was excited to play some Magic, and I watched...
yeah, that was a great set to come back on. That draft
Yeah.
format was a nice one.
So then I started watching Standard and saw these Green-White Devotion mirror matches, and I was like, you know what? I'm cool staying away from Magic for another 6 months. Like, that's fine.
The one of the better feelings in Magic the Gathering is picking up your opponent's deck.
Yeah.
Like, thumbing through that bad boy, like, it's like you walked into their house, and you're, like, going through their medicine cabinet, like, what do you got in here? Okay. Victor's going to confirm that he boards out the 4th bolt.
Victor needs to shuffle that deck. It's not shuffled at all.
No, that deck is not sufficiently randomized.
So the draw here is a Fulminator Mage that's not great. I guess
I
you
would
keep him.
1,000% fulminate this land.
You keep him away from this
So
Leyline
he has no serum visions. He would have to natural draw lands, and he has no draw power in his hand. This would be a great play for Kyle if he fulminates this land.
I wouldn't do it right now, for sure.
When would you do it?
End of turn, maybe. Combat, I guess.
Now it doesn't matter because
Unless
you target
he taps mana.
We target the fulminated land.
Yeah.
And then he just ghost quarters it.
Just ghost quarters it. Just ghost quarters it.
Right.
So now you can just swing. Now you get this during combat.
Okay. Alright, so Victor messed up here because what he needed to do was use the Ghost Quarter to either find a white to play his Leyline next turn or find a blue to counterspell this Liliana that's coming down.
Mm-hmm. He can't counterspell it. He can still logic knot it if he wants.
Doesn't that card cost blue X?
Yeah, but he can tap a blue and then Ghost Quarter.
The island?
Or the plains to get another basic island if he has a basic island.
Man, that is really, really a bad play.
Sometimes it's a necessary play. Here, I don't think it is.
Okay, so he's gonna fight through Liliana. Here is Grim Lavamancer.
Not good for Victor.
Not good for Victor. Okay.
So Kyle's getting 2 lands per turn.
He's drawn the Emrakul.
Or
no,
that's
is that
in
in
here.
Nahiri? Okay.
Yeah. One's a tentacle monster. One of them is not a tentacle monster.
Is a core person. I don't know what he's thinking about. He doesn't have a lot of options here.
Well, maybe he wants to bluff some options.
There's the land Kyle was hunting. So if okay. So yeah, Kyle's gonna he can't really attack. He does not want to lose Bob to this condemn.
He's probably okay losing Bob to the Condemn at a point, but now is not that point.
Right. He needs to really solidify his stranglehold on the game.
Speaking of Stranglehold, one of my favorite commander cards.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so we've got the Snapcaster to Path the Dark Confidant, which is okay.
Yeah, I think the Grim Lavamancer is going to be enough to. Grim Lavamancer plus Liliana is going to be enough to solidify.
Yeah, you can really.
His board state here.
He really needs to draw a threat because you can't let Victor hang around forever.
Concur. He's really good at drawing lands. I mean, he's had 3 Bob flips, and I think he's drawn 2 cards and like 4 lands.
Victor keeps the Nahiri. Is he rewarded? No.
I think he's going to keep trying to get rewarded, though.
Yeah, no reason to fire anything else off.
What? So, what's Victor doing here?
Victor needs to discard a card.
He did not discard. Stop the game. He didn't discard a card. No, he discarded the Condemn last turn. Okay.
Trying to scumbag.
Here's a Path to Exile. Okay, we need to communicate better. So
we need better communication. What we need is for people to like stop trying to interact with the people at the feature match area, but that'll never happen. So
the so we've had two areas of poor communication here in the last turn cycle where Victor didn't realize he needed to discard a card, and then we didn't understand what life totals were. I mean, they knew what life totals, like what the concept of a life total is, but not what the correct values for them at this time. All right, here's a Tarmogoyf.
There's a threat.
This is going to try and mop up the game. All right, we've got everything but Planeswalker and Tribal down there, so it's 5/6.
No artifacts.
No artifacts? Where do we get to 5 then?
Land, creature, instant, sorcery, enchantment.
All right. All right. I think Victor's going to have 2/3 the number of... Okay, so Kyle sees that since the Tarmogoyf went up, if he holds back on the Lavamancer, it actually shortens clock by an entire turn cycle. This is important.
Victor, champion of drawing Serum Visions, Kurz. Yeah, that Engineer Explosive is going to be a turn too late. Let's see what he drew off of the Serum Visions.
I feel like I wanna like go try and cut to Serum Visions in Victor's deck. It's
Emrakul was the card.
Emrakul was the card that we saw.
Whew.
So quick note, guys, if you know that Emrakul's in somebody's deck, always attack with your Tarmogoyf first before activating your Liliana, because then it shrinks your Tarmogoyf by shuffling their graveyard back in.
It certainly can.
So it can, you know what I mean?
You want to avoid Tarmogoyf shrinkage.
You just, shrinkage at all costs.
All right, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes for the fourth and final round of
yeah.
Hot Modern action.
We'll see you then.